Hello, welcome to Little Smiles International School Basic 6 online tutorial. Our subject for today is science, and it is taken from strand 5, humans and the environment. Substrand 3, science and industry. Indicator 1, scientific concepts and principles underlying the operation of some industries. Scientific concepts and principles underlying the operation of some industries. So we are going to look at some small-scale industries in our localities and the scientific principles that they use in production. Let's look at what an industry is. Places where raw materials are processed into finished goods are called industries. Places where raw materials are processed into finished goods are called industries. So any place that you know that raw materials can be processed into finished goods can be termed as an industry. Let's look at some examples of small-scale industries in our localities. Some small local industries or businesses in our localities are: 1, we have kenke production, the kenke production industry, the soap production industry, garri production industry, cooking oil production industry, and we have the salt production industry. All these are examples of small-scale industries in our localities. We will look at some of these small-scale industries and the scientific principles that they use in their production. 1, or A, is kenke production. Scientific principles on which kenke making is based is fermentation. So the scientific principle that they use at the kenke production industry is fermentation. When we say fermentation, it is the process by which foods are left, food containing starch are being left for some days for it to react and produce some quantities of alcohol in it. That is what we term as fermentation. So in the kenke production industry, they use the scientific principle fermentation because they leave the raw material, which is the corn there, for some time for little or small amount of alcohol to be produced in it. That is what we term as fermentation. Let's come to B, soap making. The process of making soap is called saponification. The process of making soap is called saponification. We will explain the saponification further under the scientific principle used in soap making. Scientific principle used in soap making. The scientific principle on which soap making is based is the chemical reaction of substances. So this chemical reaction of substances is what we term as saponification. Let's look at these substances that react to form the soap, for which we term as saponification. When substances such as coconut oil, caustic soda, soda ash, water and perfume are put together, they react. When you put these substances together, they react. Let's look at the other activity that will join it to form the saponification for the production of soap. As heat is applied, the soap is formed. When you apply heat to the mixture of coconut oil, caustic soda, soda ash, water and perfume, when you apply it to it, soap is produced, and that reaction is what we call saponification. This scientific principle is known as saponification, as I have explained earlier on. Let's look at the next local industry and the scientific principle used there. That is the garri processing. Garri is a creamy white substance made from cassava. So the raw material that we use to make garri is cassava. Let's look at the scientific principles that are being used at the Gari processing industry. Gari processing is based on two scientific concepts and principles. These are fermentation and evaporation. As I explained earlier on, when we say fermentation, when foods containing starch are being left for some days for some few percentage of alcohols to be produced in them, that is what we term as fermentation. The food has been fermented. So in the Gari industry or Gari processing industry, they use fermentation. Cassava contains starch. The grounded cassava is being left, twisted and left for some days for it to ferment. That is few amount of alcohol to be produced in them. Then the next scientific process they use is evaporation. They put the cassava, the grounded cassava, in a pan and subject it to heat. That is, they put it on fire for the water in it to turn into gas. That is evaporation. So the two scientific principles used at the Gari processing industry are fermentation and evaporation. Children, below this tutorial, there are exercises there. Download them and answer them and present them at the school premises for marking. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we will meet again in our next tutorial. Until then, bye-bye.